Facing away from the door, I feel something cold and hard press against my back. I laugh thinking it is just someone messing with me, but when I turn around, I see my coworker staring at me with horror in her eyes. I turn to see the person behind me wearing a ski mask, and when I look down, I finally see the gun clutched in his hand that is aimed right at me. Sometimes in life we feel like we are invincible. We think that nothing bad is ever going to happen to us, and we can just skate through life without any problems. People ignore all of the horrible things that could happen to anyone at any time, and they walk through life thinking that no one can touch them. Truth be told, that is exactly how I viewed life a year ago, until something happened that changed my whole perspective. I had recently been hired at a local ice cream shop called Durbin's Magic Freeze. It is a small establishment, but many say that it is the heart of Barberton. It has been in operation for over 65 years, and it continues to grow and gain more and more business every year. It has always been a great family-owned business, and it is something people cherish. It is a chilly Thursday night in October, and all of my friends are going to open mic night at a local coffee shop. I, however, am scheduled to work 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. On nights like this, when it is cold and gloomy out, we usually do not get much business, so we try to clean and do whatever we can to stay occupied. Approaching the holiday season, we sell nice decorations and knickknacks. Since it is fall, we have a table out front with all of the items we are selling. Whenever it gets dark outside, the manager brings all of the items back inside the building. Tonight, it is just me and 2 other girls working. So far, it has been very slow, which has left us sitting around with nothing to do for most of the night. Around 8:30 p.m., Sarah, the girl who is manager for the night, decides that it is dark enough outside for her to bring in the fall items. Sarah begins to move all of the items, which takes a couple of trips. In the meantime, I am in the section of the building where the door is. I am standing at one of the ice cream freezers sorting out money as Sarah goes in and out of the building. On one of her trips in, she had to leave the door open because her hands were so full. I hear a shuffle behind me, and when I turn around, I see a man with a mask walk in. As the man comes in, I turn my back around and continue to sort out money as I laugh. My first thought is that it is just our boss, because he likes to play jokes on us. When I hear Sarah come back up, and I see her freeze at the sight of him, I realize something is wrong. This is when I look down and see that the man in the mask is holding a gun against my back. The man yells with anger, "Close the door!" Sarah stands frozen for a little while, then hurries to shut the door. My other coworker, Ashley, who had been in the front waiting on a customer, comes to the back and sees what is going on. You can see her face pale as soon as she noticed that the man is holding a weapon. The man, with his gun still to my back, makes us all go to the front and stand in the corner. "Show me where the money is," he demands. He seems rushed to get out of here as soon as possible as he makes us put all of the money in a bag for him. None of us can keep our hands from trembling as we do his bidding. After we have put all of the money into the bag, he tells us to stay in the corner at the front of the shop as he goes in the back. We sit there terrified. We do not know what is going to happen to us. If we move to try and call the cops, he might hear us and shoot. All we can do is sit and wait. I sit in the corner with fear and terror swirling around in my mind. I cannot keep myself from thinking of all of the horrible things that can happen. I have never felt this scared before, and I sit there unable to even react. The fear has caused all of the emotion to run from me. I am left there frozen, not knowing what is going to happen to us. As we wait in the front for him to come back, a woman comes up to the window. We do not know if we should just ignore her, if we should act normal and take her order. We decide to wait, but then the customer starts angrily knocking on the window. She will not stop her incessant pounding, so Ashley gets up, opens the window, and takes her order. Luckily, the order does not take too long. But when Ashley is done, the man marches to the front with his gun aimed at us and demands to know what we are doing. Shakily, Ashley explains that the woman had been pounding on the window, and she took her order. He yells at us to not move again, and then retreats into the back again. After waiting about 5 minutes or so, we finally hear the door slam. My coworkers and I look at each other with wide eyes. We slowly creep to the back where he had been, and after looking around for a little while, we realize that he has left. Immediately, we all share a sigh of relief. For a couple minutes, we stand frozen, unable to say anything. We all just sit there trying to process what had just happened. Once we collect ourselves, we call the police. I remember being very calm while all of this was happening. It was probably because I was in shock, but there really was not much time to even think about what was happening. As soon as the police showed up, though, they told us to call our parents, and that is when we all lost it. We could not contain the emotions of what had just happened to us. The feeling of being so helpless in such a scary situation is one of the worst feelings. When I went home that night, it did not feel real. You hear about these kinds of situations happening to people all the time, but until it happens to you, you cannot grasp how terrifying it really is. Having my family rush to me and wrap me in their arms so tightly that I could hardly breathe really hit me hard. I could have been so close to not making it out of there alive. Standing in the corner that night, scared and unknowing of what was going to happen, changed my perspective forever. I have such a different outlook on life now. I never truly realized how fleeting our lives are until that night. Life is so short, and my whole life I've gone around not thinking about how easily you can be faced with life or death situations. Anything can happen that could end it all in the blink of an eye, and you would not even see it coming. All because of that one night, I have more of an appreciation for the life that I have, and I know that it is a precious life. In a way, I am thankful for what happened to me because it helped me grow as a person and understand the hardships that people go through. So many people have gone through the same thing that I have, and some do not even make it out alive like I did. I am so grateful that my life was spared that night, but I know that it just as easily could have been taken. I never would have thought that at 16 years old, I would be put in such a terrifying situation. But I will never again take the life that I have for granted because I know how quickly I could lose it.